This is Mr. Simon Carimbocas. Simon, maybe you can just tell us what do you do?
Well, first, Mr. Wilson, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity, to give you some information based on what I know, about the steel pan. Although not a pan player, but I have been in the music business now for the last 45 years. Um, Having worked, with two musical institutions. One of them happened to be National Music from 1965 to 1969. The other one being Sagome's Music that from 1969 to 1989, which is a 20-year span. And after that particular company, we went into receivership, I started off my own business from 1989 to present. The name of my company, is Simon Musical Supplies Limited. Of course, I'm the managing director of Simon Musical Supplies, and our whole business is centered around music.
Can you give us the location?
Number 59 St. Vincent Street
And this is, of course, in Port of Spain.
in Port of Spain, which is the capital city of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, so what I want to do now is just tell you like what I've been doing. I'm doing some research and just want to have this conversation with you, simply because I want to get a cross section of people who are into academics, who are into different business, who are into pan tuning and different aspects, all related to the steel pan. So the research, the question is that for my thesis, it's going to be something like pan in the diaspora, an overview of steel pan development in Canada's two major cities, Montreal and Toronto. Okay, I've done a lot of work in this, but why am I doing this here in Trinidad? It's because, of course,
The
this is
birthplace
the
of the steel
birthplace
pan.
of exactly, and I want to know now that steel pan has spread abroad, has been diffused to many countries, and I want to know there's development of steel pans, businesses, and different aspects of it, education, and so on. But I wanted to know now how has this affected Trinidad? So my question would be, how has the steel pan development abroad impacted or is impacting the steel pan development in its place of origin, Trinidad? So that would be my general question. You can feel free to respond how as you see fit.
Okay, to put it into a nutshell, the whole thing about the steel pan industry, I think I would have shared this view, with other people as well, that we still look at the steel pan as we thing and not, as one of the musical instruments that have been invented in this particular century. And the reason why I say that is because we as Trinbagonians seems only to appreciate, the steel pan when carnival time comes around. And it is very, very sad because I, for the last 40, 45 years, have done quite a lot of, extensive travel. And every year, for the last 40 years, I've been attending the NAM Music Show in Los Angeles, California, Anaheim, the county of Anaheim, to be more precise. And one of the sad things that, when I attend that show, when I see the steel pan instrument being displayed in that convention center, you see Trinidad and Tobago in a very small area, the instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. And as a people, I don't think, we have done enough in order, to promote, the instrument to the entire world. When we here in Trinidad and Tobago are not doing it, the foreigners have taken this instrument by storm. And I could tell you like it is, there's this gentleman who is the founder of Panyard or Panland, a guy by the name of Ron from the United States of America. When he tell me the type of business that he's doing, in the pan industry, I ask myself what we as a people in Trinidad and Tobago is doing. What?
So in other words, there is a lot of activities outside
a lot
there,
of activities,
and it's problematic for you being a Trinidadian that this activity is not exactly happening here.
It's not happening here.
Okay.
It's not happening here. I spoke with my good friend Andy Narell probably about 2 or 3 months ago, and based on what I was told by Andy, the amount of work that he's doing with the steel pan, it comes back to what I said a while ago. What are we doing? At present, I know Andy is working, on something with the government of St. Lucia.
Yep.
Devon
Stewart.
Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But Devon, indicated to me, not too long ago, the amount of hard work that, he have been putting out, outside there,
Yep.
where the steel band is concerned. And to me, it may appear, and it's for real, the foreigners appreciate the steel band more than, the locals.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said earlier on, the only time we tend to appreciate and to love the steel band is when carnival time comes
So you
around.
think this is more just this appreciation that the foreigners, as you put it, the people abroad, then they appreciate the steel pan more. They seem to get more involved with it and are taking it up. We have a saying that we have given this as a gift to the world, right? Well, these people have taken this gift and they're very, as you said, they're very appreciative of it.
Well, they have taken it from beneath our eyes, from our home, because the whole thing about it is this, I always say, charity begins at home. And as a result of that, we look at our so-called governing body, I want to be quite outright. What are they doing? What? Salah in Trinidad and Tobago here right now, it is only fitting for me to say you still cannot even get the correct drum, proper gauge to produce the instrument. And you're talking about the home of steel pan. You're talking about the home of steel pan here.
So it's just this same type of attitude of not really having so much care and appreciation for it at home. And this probably, as you could say, it stems from top down, from the government down.
Too much of politics being played. And as I always say, we still have this attitude of trying to fight down who was the first inventor of the steel pan. And if the guy who invented, the first piano probably would have, if he had thinked along the same line as, we, the Trinbagonian thing about the steel pan, then the piano would not be, as it is today. I would like to see the day, when we could put as much steel pan in every home like we have done with the piano in this country.
This is very positive.
Of course.
And this is definitely part of the answer to the impact that what it has abroad, because you definitely are seeing then that where this, as you mentioned with the piano, and you have a vision for the steel piano that you would like to see it in all different homes, and
every
of course I
home.
can assume also all institutions of learning.
Every single home, and it is time for pan men, to stop behaving as pan men. We have to look at the pan fraternity as a business.
Okay.
As a business. And we just don't know exactly what we have in our possession. This is a big money making business. And the fact remains is this: 1 or 2 men can't do it.
Well,
it takes a team.
Exactly.
It takes a team, to bring this where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Uh,
Well, one of the topics that I've also written about, and well, it gets into politics, but I'm seeing there's a positive thing that if something like this can happen, and maybe you can give me a feedback on that. It's probably going to be one of my papers that I'm going to write in the future. But I do believe that to get this thing further, and there's a big plus with it, because I too see then that how, and this is also probably going to be one of my papers, to see that the steel pan can, and it's proactive, to see that the steel pan can be placed in all institutions of learning, colleges, universities, on an equivalent basis as that of string ensembles and wind ensembles. So if we were able to sell the steel pan into all institutions, all high schools, colleges, universities, in the same aspect as how you would get a string ensemble, right? Violin, cello, and all this stuff, or wind ensemble with all different horns and saxophones and so on. And you have another option instead of strings, wind, percussion, pans, because the steel pan has its complete family from bass to soprano, like these other string or wind instruments. So this is something then that there's a future there. There's quite a possibility. So my thing would be then, why don't Trinidad now really recognize the business aspects of this? Because if this were to happen, to have pans in all universities and schools, this is $1 billion industry, definitely. And if I may say so, China is making every musical instrument in the world. And if they were to somehow, because this is no longer our sacred cow, that we alone can make pans, that's out of the window. So if they or some big not company but a country were to take this up, because China sees it as global, and we need to do something about that. And what I'm suggesting is that we need to have a ministry exclusively for the steel pan, with its own budget, with its own form of resources, its own set of activities that can really promote. So something like this is what is needed. But alas, I'm also a Trinidadian, and I know Trinidadians are the biggest lovers of pan and also the biggest haters of pan. So it kind of just even out then that we're not going anywhere with it, but it still stays the same. And that has been one of the dilemma and the malaise of steel pan in Trinidad and Tobago, in my opinion. But again, you know, it is important then that we see what's going on in the rest of the world and see how things like this can be applied, and how steel pan can be more developed here in its place of birth. So, do you have anything more that you want to probably add on that same topic of the development here?
well, Salah, as I say, it takes two hands to clap. All the stakeholders who are involved in the pan business have to come on board. You mentioned, it's $1 billion business. I think saying $1 billion business, it's putting it mild. It is a lucrative business, and if we don't really get up, shake ourselves, and give more thoughts to what is going on with this particular industry, the steel pan industry. If we haven't lost it already, we're going to lose it. Because you mentioned China. God, China is doing everything right now.
Yeah.
You name it and they're going to do it.
Yeah.
They may not do it as good in the first try, but the fact remains is this: sooner or later, they're going to do everything, because they're going to get the correct drum.
Yeah.
They're going to get locals from Trinidad
Yes.
to come aboard there, and when they get all the know-how about the instrument,
Just like Panya,
they would have no uses for you again.
Exactly.
And I could remember, if I traced my mind going back to 1979, 1980, when the president of Yamaha then, Mr. Matsumoto, visited, Trinidad. He always heard about the steel pan. Never seen what a steel pan was like, And I could remember taking him down to Tragrit Road. And one of the steel pan yard that I took him to was Invaders. And Invaders were rehearsing that particular night. And hearing the song coming from the soprano pan, which we call the tenor pan, it was a question of, he was so amazed that he turned the drum upside down. He could not believe that such wonderful song was coming from a steel drum.
This is the president of Yamaha.
President of Yamaha at the time. And he pulled out a small device from his pocket. None the wiser, I didn't realize that the song from the soprano or tenor pan, as we may call it, was sampled.
Technology.
And the following year, Yamaha came out with a keyboard. And then looking through the features of the different musical instruments that you would have got coming out from that, I saw steel drum. And when I punch in that particular knob to get that song, it was so amazing that the steel drum was now on a keyboard. You may be aware that, with modern technology, it may be difficult now for you to determine a real drum from a keyboard. And this just goes to show you exactly how these people outside there think.
Right.
Right? You will get one man now playing a keyboard, and you're going to get the full range of a steel orchestra, from soprano pan right down to 9 bass. It's amazing.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of the E-pan also.
Of course,
And
I'm
Simon
aware.
Cupid,
Yes,
brother
Samuel.
from yeah.
And I'm happy for this gentleman.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
he has taken the same concept as any synthesizer, but he has put it in the shape of a
and
steel
to
pan.
be honest with you, as you mentioned that, we are one of the distributor here for that said instrument.
Okay.
It's a fascinating instrument.
Yeah.
Good. Modern technology. And people will come in and you tell them the price of the unit, $15,000. And well, for a steel pan, that is, and it's still cheaper than a piano.
Of course.
And it can do anything a piano can do, or even more.
Yeah.
Again, the fact remains is this: it's a question of we appreciating what belongs to us.
Yeah.
And I want to wish Mr. Cupid all the success in respect to taking the pan, to a different level.
Right. So I guess, well, yeah. So that would bring us about to conclude on, so I appreciate the fact that you could take the time to just tell us.
Well, Salah, the
this.
pleasure was mine, and I am happy, in respect to what you're trying to achieve, because as a people, I hate to use the word black, but in some cases you have to use it. As a people, it is time that we start to appreciate what is ours. We have a lot of talented black people, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, worldwide, but it's time that, we come out there and show the world what we have to offer. In this case, where Trinidad and Tobago is concerned, we have to show the world that we, as a people, have produced one of the most beautiful instruments that came out within the century.
Well, this is, on that note, that's a very wonderful note to end this. Thank you very much. I'm speaking here with Mr. Simon Carimbocas of Simon Musical Supplies. St. Vincent Street, 57?
59.
59 St. Vincent Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Telephone number
625 6412, area code 868. And of course, our email is cbocas at simonsmusicsupplies.com.
So whenever you're in Trinidad or you do ship abroad and you want to get steel pans and any other type of musical
Any
instrument,
musical instrument.
Simon Musical Supplies is the largest musical store that you can get all your needs for your musical supplies. Thank you very much again, Simon.
Thank you very
Been a
much.
great pleasure.
God bless you. God bless your family, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you again.